What's going on, everybody? We are going to talk about how people consistently set themselves up for failure because they always underestimate what it takes. And I can give you specific examples from myself, right? But I think this is something that a lot of us always do. In the short term, we overestimate what we can get done. And in the long term, we underestimate how much we can get done. Now, here's the time frames I'm talking about. Most of us think we can get done things in a very short time frame, a month, a week, or even a year, right? We think we can get everything done inside of these small windows. And a lot of times, what we're doing is we're overestimating how much we can do. And that sets us up for frustration, stress, anxiety, a whole bunch of things. Because a lot of times we're trying to hit things that may or may not be all that realistic. While in the long term, let's say a 3 year goal or a 5 year goal, we dramatically underestimate how much we can do. Right? You can change a lot in 5 years, in 3 years, in 10 years. There's companies that haven't existed that have been built inside of 10 years that have $1 billion valuation, right? But someone that doesn't think they've built, someone that has never built something like that before would think you could do it in 3 years or 2 years, right? I'll give you a good one. All right. I am working on getting everything perfect for my workshop. Okay. My first workshop is this Saturday. I have overestimated this 3 times. Okay. And 3 times I put it on the calendar, put it on the schedule. And because of construction that was in my home office, which you can't really see it, but that it's almost all done now, I had to move back the event. Right. And putting this event together, I didn't think, oh, well, what if I have people attend virtually too? Right. So I can tell you that this is something that I've been working on for 4 or 5 months. I thought I could do it in a month or two. And here I am still working and figuring it out. Why? Because you're not always going to get it all right all the time. And you're going to have to adjust. And that's part of life. And that's part of being an entrepreneur. Right. Dave, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I like how you touched on that and you had to move the bar back, because on the opposite side of that, when people give themselves too long of the time, right? It's, hey, I want to do this workshop, but that sounds realistic in 18 months. And then what happens is you never get started on it at all.
Correct.
You don't take the action. It's better to start taking the action now and at least have the shortfall, because you did the steps to get there. It's like, okay, well, I got this done. I thought I could do it in 3 months. We'll have to push it back a month or two. Now I'm definitely going to get it done in 6. When I first thought it would take 18, a lot of people, it's kind of a lack of confidence in a sense with that, but also, that uncertainty too. Can I really get this done? That's happened to me a lot, being on the uncertain side, like, man, can we really do this? And when you start collecting small wins to lead up to that, it's like, oh shit, well, I just surprised myself on that. And I did it in a short amount of time. We can do it. Oh, let's do something audacious. Let's take this. If we can do it in 4 months, let's see if we can do it in 2. And if I fall short, I'm not going to quit. I'm going to keep going. Then we'll see if we can hammer it in 3. Then at the end of the day, we made it by month 4 anyway. Right.
Yep.
So I love how you touched on that, man, because it's realistically how it should be done.
Yeah, that's how things get done. And here's the other thing, dude. And this is the great part of that. Like you said, as soon as I started talking, you're like, I've done this and I still do this all the time. Well, here's the reality. Okay. The fact that I started early, but I had to revise it 4, 5, 6 times, clearly that's better than never starting at all. Because I'm about to run my first one this weekend. Okay. And then I'm going to have one a month running after that. That's going to be virtual. No, it's not I'm not done. Like, it's not solved. It's not figured out. I still have to be able to get 15 people in there automatically every single month. Right. So there's a lot of these things. So when you look at something that someone else is building, you're like, wow, how do you do that? Or, what went into that? It's a lot of trial and error, guys, and that's on fucking everything. And if anyone else is telling you that trial and error isn't involved or doesn't play a big role, they're wrong, because no one actually knows the right formula to put something to market.
Yeah.
All right. And the separators between the people that do it, the people that plan it or say it, is just taking that first step. Now, I realize human nature, I'm always going to think it's easier to do than what it is, and it's always going to take me a little bit longer. But I know that if I start and push massive action towards it, put my time, effort, energy, resources, I know that I'll eventually figure it out if I don't give up. Okay? If I don't give up and I keep testing what works and what doesn't work, I will eventually figure it out. Just the same way that any of you guys that have any project, any business, anything that you guys are trying to get up off the ground, the first thing is take that first step, and then it's going to be a lot of trial and error. And it's like that for marketing, it's like that for hiring, it's like that for sales. There's nothing that this doesn't translate to. You guys just haven't done it enough yet, or you've been sitting on the sidelines too much. Okay? Those are the only two things. So when you understand what it's like to bring something, that process, right? The process of you creating something that didn't exist is always going to be the same. You have to figure out all the different dynamics that's going to make it move and going to make it go. We're talking about an inanimate business event or workshop, but starting your business is the same. Hiring your manager is the same. Hiring someone for sales is the same. Building a marketing campaign, guess what, guys? It's the same. All right. But what separates the people that get it done and the people that build cool shit and the people that talk about it is just that action piece. And then once they take that first step, they know that they're not married to the path, they're married to getting to the destination. Okay. So you might have to take several steps off that path that you thought you once had to travel to get to the right ending point. But as long as you keep moving, you're going to get it, right? The guy that stops moving is the guy that doesn't get it done and stays where he's at. And there's no more dangerous place to be in that comfort zone, right? That's why comfort kills. All right. What else you got on this?
Yeah, a couple more points, man. And, to touch on it about taking action and seeing other people, do stuff online. Gary Vee has that famous quote, right? When they ask him, hey, man, why do you give out so much, right? Why do you put so much out there for nothing? And what's his answer? 99% of you won't do anything with it. You're not going to take the action. You're not going to move forward with it. I like how you talk about your workshop, and the clapping, man, was like, congratulations, right? Like, because it takes to get to point. We're in that. I talked about that on Friday. We're doing the same things, like because nobody's doing what we're doing in terms of workshops, right? Locally, virtually, at least that I see it quality wise, and it takes work. It's been taking us work here to get it through. But one of the most important things that if you guys are putting things together and moving forward and putting in this work, see it all the way through. Don't stop until you see it happen all the way through. A lot of people get shiny object syndrome. Oh, okay. Well, now we can start this campaign over here. Now we can add this service and product over here. We can add this. We can go like you're running in circles. See it all the way through. Don't stop until you get it done. And last thing I'll touch on this. In terms of getting it out and working it. Yeah, it's definitely not going to be perfect the first time. There's always going to be improvements and things you could change. One of the best things I was taught in getting or launching anything is, okay, look, if you're at a C- or a C, right? At least that C is better than nothing. You got it out. So now how do you take it from a C- and get it to a B or a B+? And then how do you take that next step and then get it to an A? You're going to constantly work on it. You're always going to find ways to improve it. You're going to find ways to make it better. You're going to find ways to bring it out to a bigger market. You're constantly going to work on it, man. Go from that C- to that A+.
Well, that's huge. That's product or program fit, right? So as you're doing that, as you're working with that, you're just perfecting that thing. And guys, what Dave's saying is super true. It's basically saying don't move on until you got it all worked out and optimized. Because a lot of people will get a little bit of success and then leave it instead of milking it for everything it can do, right? So that's a great point, Dave. Thanks for adding that.
Yeah, man, 100%.
All right, guys. We will catch you on Financial Fitness Friday. You heard it here. Take care.
Be great, y'all.